This is the Throttle Out Show, presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Oh, hey, it's been a while. Just enjoying the nice warmth up here and next to the fire here in Minnesota. Got myself in my jammies, drinking a little bit of eggnog. Just turn down the lights and lock your doors because it's about to get weird. We're back as the Throttle Out Show. My name is Austin Spence. As you can tell, a whole lot of man just chilling here on this big old couch. Super excited to be back. Introducing first, somebody that may have spent a little bit too much money, gambled a lot in Vegas, even lost her last name, Miss Harley Tweedy. In controls, you could kind of see her hands. And her now husband, no longer fiance, my co-host, Austin Tweedy. What's going on, guys? It's been a hot minute.
I'm a married man now, but I got to shake your hand for that intro.
Of course.
That was spectacular, dude.
I mean, absolutely. It's the eggnog. Tis the season.
It's just good to be back. Good to be back on the show. We got an awesome guest joining us here in just a minute. But there's also somebody that is kind of a surprise guest for the night.
That is true. Yeah, we do have a bit of a surprise guest, but should we? I mean, we forgot Cooper. We got to tell.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. We got someone else I forgot about. Damn it. Up there in Paxton, IL, former crew chief of both Neil Elliott and Thomas in the Maximum Destruction Monster Jam truck. Everyone's favorite star of the show, Mr. Cooper Knuckles.
Yeah, who's a small cowboy?
Oh, my gosh.
We're already starting off on a bad note, ain't we?
We're
already there. Great.
The pug farm is going good since we haven't been live in a while. So update, pug farm is going good.
So how is it still 2, or do you have another one added to the?
No,
to the
just
arsenal?
2. Just 2. Planning on 3, but just 2 for right now.
Okay.
These guys,
okay.
he lost his nuts, so we can't really make another one yet. So we gotta start looking.
Kind of ruining having the farm. Then I mean, how are you supposed to expand?
Yeah,
makes no sense there.
We will find a way, as the Knuckles always do. We find a way. How do you think?
Knuckles Life. And watch the Knuckles Deep podcast to learn more about the pug life and the pug farm up there at Paxton IL.
Exactly. And speaking of which, obviously we've been around for a hot minute now. I mean, no pun intended, next to the fire. So for those that may have tuned in from the very beginning with Throttle Out, it originally was myself, Austin Tweedy, and we had another person that we also used to work with at Monster Jam, Mr. Matt Cummings, and he kind of took a little hiatus, popped in every now and then. Well, he's back, isn't he?
He's back on the show. He has a different look, and I apologize from the moment you see him. If your first impression of him is that he sits down to pee, you're probably correct. But for the first time in a very long time, I'd like to introduce our good friend, Mr. Matt Cummings. That's what I'm talking about. bringing the brewskis.
You almost hit the camera. And there's your microphone.
He brought the local Glick beer. This is a local beer here in Cold Spring, Minnesota. Very tasty.
Also, we have his dog Moby here with us. That'll be and he's drinking the beer. Is that safe? Should dogs be drinking beer?
Train wreck from inception. Thank you for having me.
But it's good to have him back in Monster Trucks. He was such a huge asset to Monster Jam when he was there. Crewed for Mark List for a long time, Chad Fortune, just to name a couple of people. And you also crewed for the Monster Energy Camp for the overseas tours.
And old Steve Sims, Mr. I'll Break It.
Can't forget Steve Sims.
Jeez. Steve Sims or Stevie Sims?
Stevie Sims.
Stevie Sims.
Yeah, Stevie Sims.
Okay.
Junior.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we do have a lot to discuss tonight. We got an awesome guest joining us here in just a minute. I go ahead and start introducing him.
Yeah,
y'all. We met this guy out in where were we? Were we in Wyoming? Is that where we were at?
No, it wasn't Cheyenne.
Laramie. No, Cheyenne. It was Cheyenne. Yeah, it was Cheyenne.
Hi, buddy.
I guess.
Can you stop licking my
Yes,
microphone?
we did.
Matt,
While we were in Laramie. That's right. Yeah. Y'all, this guy, fun fact about this guy, could not live any closer to the Groth twins unless he was like literally in their backyard. That's how random this and how small this world of monster trucks really is. But got to know him out there at Cheyenne. Great guy. And now has his own truck. And he's going to come on and talk to us a little bit about it. So for the very first time on the Throttle Out show, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Swick with the Geronimo monster truck. What's going on, Brandon?
Hey guys, how's it going? First off, just like to thank you guys a lot for having me on.
Well, hey, we appreciate you for coming on, my man, and we apologize if there's a little bit of a lag there. He's all the way out there in Wyoming, and we're up here in ice-cold Minnesota. But, Brandon, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your truck, the Geronimo monster truck, kind of where that originated from, the name. Obviously, people know about the name and the design on the truck. But also, I mean, just kind of tell us, like, just your background and how you got into the industry as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll try to make a long story short. I grew up just a regular ranch kid in Wyoming. Like most kids, I grew up loving monster trucks and drawing pictures of monster trucks in elementary school and playing video games, building monster truck models and having monster truck RCs. I just grew up a regular, poor kid working hard, and one thing led to another. I was able to start working for myself when I was 25, and kind of built up that business. And it was shortly after I bought the new low-C LMTs. I bought one for me and one for my dad. And a couple weeks after that, I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to sell my working show truck and buy a monster truck. And so there you have it.
Well, what was your show truck? What was that?
I had a 05 Peterbilt 379 extended hood, flat top. Had a custom built cat engine in it, 1,000+ horsepower.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is there pictures of that on your Instagram still?
There is. So yeah, if you go back further down on my Instagram, you'll actually see the very day I sent it away with the new owners, and talking about onto newer and bigger things. And
was that a bittersweet day for you?
It was. I'm still trucking. I grew up trucking and stuff with the ranch. That's always been a thing there. I mean, I started driving when I was 13, and I got my CDL when I was 18.
Damn.
So kind of been into everything. I grew up racing motocross and stuff from the time I was 5 years old all the way through middle school and high school. Bought my first Harley when I was a freshman in high school. Went to Harley Davidson mechanic school in Phoenix after high school, and did some custom motorcycle stuff for a while, and then kind of got back into construction. And I ended up buying out a mom and pop construction company here in Laramie. They helped me, and I bought them out and started trucking. And then my parents also kind of started their trucking company up again. And so now it's just kind of a family business, and doing the monster truck stuff on the side as well. And it's just been awesome. The monster truck community is far more amazing than I ever imagined it would be.
I mean, we agree with you there, man. And if you're watching the show tonight and you want to ask some questions, you want to get to know more of the Geronimo monster truck driver, Brandon Swick, drop them down in the comments section. And Spence, before you take off there, I know you got some stuff you want to say. Brandon, you said that you grew up watching motocross, and you're obviously a big fan of monster trucks. I guess, who are some people that you looked up to growing up in both of those sports?
Obviously Travis Pastrana, Mike Metzger. Those guys, like I said, I grew up racing as well. Just been a gearhead my whole life. Also in high school, I started big into the diesel performance world. I did diesel drag racing and all that stuff. That's also further down on my Instagram. So I've just always been about horsepower and fast things, and just always had a dream of owning and driving a monster truck, and just held on to that dream long enough and just kept talking about it, and was finally able to make it all happen. It's been awesome.
So you've got the opportunity to hang out with the Groth twins and get to know them. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with those boys.
So it was just like total fate. I'd been watching the monster truck market on racingjunk.com and been looking for a monster truck, and I found one for sale. Used to be the old Maniac truck. A guy by the name of Dean Bruschow owned that out in Washington. And so I sold my Peterbilt, and my father and I took his semi and flatbed out to Washington and picked up the truck. And I didn't know that Tyler and Travis lived in my hometown when I decided to get into this. I was just going to completely wing it. I was just like, well, I know enough about most mechanical stuff. I said, I think I can figure it out. And so about an hour after we left Dean's place out there in Washington, he started sending me some contacts of people in the industry. And he goes, man, he's like, I just got off the phone with Tyler and Travis Groth. And he's like, they actually live in your hometown. And I was thinking to myself, I've lived here most of my life. I was like, there's no way that two brothers have monster trucks in my hometown. I was like, I would know about that. And he's like, no, he's like, I just got off the phone with them. And he's like, they live there in your town, and they want to meet you as soon as you get back. And so my dad and I, we drove straight home from Washington, and I called Travis on my way back. And I said, hey, man, I'll be back, late Saturday night. And he's like, cool. He's like, well, we'll come over and see you Sunday morning and introduce ourselves. And ever since then, we've been great friends. And they got me my first show, did my first show with them in, I think it was Salida, Colorado. And, they're just great guys. It's funny, I can actually see Tyler's house from my front porch. So very small world. I had no idea. They've been a godsend. Everything is just fallen into place. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am if it hadn't been for those guys being here. They're just awesome, generous guys, and they can fix anything in a pinch. They know what they're doing.
I was going to say, Matt, you probably been on tour with them a few times and seen the crazy stuff they've had to put back together.
My very first arena show, arena tour, the Groth brothers were on there, and the amount of stuff they broke before the first show was absolutely incredible. If anyone knows anything about the Monster Jam tours, we always do a bunch for the very first weekend. We do a bunch of shows with nobody in the stands, no bodies, just driving them around. And the very final one, they broke a champagne, they broke a spindle, and a housing. With like 2 hours to go to a show, it was bananas. But I mean, those two boys can hustle. We got everything done, and they did make it in for the very first show. But my favorite story to tell about the Groth brothers is, especially because their trucks were, almost always broken down. I don't remember who exactly it was, whether it was Tyler or Travis, but one of them would take both of their crew shirts up to the stands, do the interview, take a couple of steps back, change crew shirts, step down, and pretend to be the other one.
Well, I mean, I'll admit, I've spent a whole bunch of time with them, done a lot of shows with them, and then we share a shop together now, which is super cool. We also have Jeffrey Allaire in there with the new veteran truck. So super cool. But even after all the time I've spent around them, I have a hard time telling them apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've found a way to tell them apart. It's not going to make sense if I explain it, but back to just like them just being good guys and being able to fix anything in a pinch. So we did our first show with them, which was in Bozeman, if I'm not mistaken. It's our first show.
Yep.
And during the first night show, I think it was it Tyler? I can't remember now whichever brother it was, but they were having an issue with, what are we laughing about?
What, are you good over there?
Is it Moby? It's the dog.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. I'm sorry. I'm a disaster. I'm sorry about the dog. I apologize.
He sees all of you in the comments.
Anyways, one of the brothers, they were having engine trouble, and I was like, how do you know you're having engine trouble? Have you lost oil pressure? No, haven't lost oil pressure, but it made this weird sound when I went to lean the truck out, so I want to look into it. After the show, those boys are pulling the bottom end of the truck apart, completely apart, And good thing they offered drinks because my stress was just going through the roof watching these guys tear their engine apart. And here they were making crap work. And they ran all the next show. I think they even ran the next weekend with that same motor too. And that was actually, Brandon, if you remember, so we went from Bozeman to Laramie, which is at y'all's place. And that's where we met you. And we just had an absolute mud show in Bozeman. So you brought over an extra pressure washer for us to use. And Harley Joe over here got really good at using your pressure washer.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think Casey was driving Lone Wolf at that time. She had a broken spindle, I believe.
Yep. We loaded in the trailer just by holding onto the wheel tethers. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then you guys came up with Tyler and Travis one night, and that was shortly after I'd gotten my truck. And then, we spent a whole evening wrestling around in hydraulic oil doing shocks.
That's right. Yeah. I stepped away for that night, but yeah, they were telling me all about that. And so you said that you got Jeffrey Allaire. He hops in with y'all every once in a while at the shop as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so Tyler and Travis helped put that truck together. That was a truck that used to be Wild Card, the chassis.
Oh.
And
okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to disclose too much information, but no, Tyler and Travis did an awesome job. Jeffrey and his crew, they came up and helped, did a lot of work, and they just debuted that truck down in Denver here, I think a weekend or so ago. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to be completely joining our team, for good. But I think that's kind of the plan. He's a great guy. Does a lot of great stuff for veterans and stuff. So that's super cool.
Jeffrey's awesome.
I've been super. Yeah,
Go ahead.
He is. I was just gonna say, I've been super fortunate, man. To like just jump into this. Like I said, I owe it all pretty much to Tyler and Travis for sure. But I ran with Rick Swanson and his son Eric. Just awesome, down to earth guys. I ran with Mike Christensen, Zach Jensen of Kamikaze, Dalton Widener, Jake Galley, Wicked Strong. Just all these guys have just really welcomed me into the community, and everybody's just so willing to help each other out. It's so different from almost any other motorsports. It really is super cool.
And didn't you get to do a show with both my dad and my brother, USA 1 and Barefoot?
I did, yeah, that's right. That was up in Afton. That was a mud show, pure mud bog, really.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, we need to get Jeffrey. You were talking about Jeffrey. We need to get him to come on the show sometime and hang out with him. But, Brandon, one moment that you were there for, you were there for my first rollover in Cheyenne. that was a big moment for me. But just as a question to you and Harley, if there's questions in the comments, go ahead and read them out to us because I can't really read them from all the way over here. But I got a couple questions for you, Brandon. One being with the rollover, is that something that as a driver that you are intimidated by, is rolling over a truck?
No, just being an independent guy, truly solely independent. I've got a lot of money wrapped up in that 61 Apache body, because it is paint and graphics on top of that. So, I really just want to avoid it as long as possible. It's not that I'm afraid of it. Honestly, kind of looking forward to it one of these days. But, just been trying to put the truck through its paces, make some money, put on a good show, just get used to everything. So know when the time comes and roll it over, and it happens, it happens. I got pretty close this year. Had a pretty good save. I think that was up at a Powell, Wyoming show. But no, I'm not afraid to roll it over. I'm just trying to save myself the heartache of having to redo the whole body.
There was a question that came in yesterday from the Obsession Racing team. They want to know just how fast your Kenworth goes.
Well, it definitely helps you get to the shows a little bit quicker for sure. Not as fast as my Peterbilt would have, but it's a 700 horsepower cat. It's got some long legs. It's got 284 rear ends and an 18 speed, so it scoots right down the road. But I just got a speeding ticket here a couple weeks back, and the state of Wyoming told me that if I got one more, they were gonna suspend my CDL for a little while. So seeing how
Slow it down.
seeing how I also make a living with that, I'm gonna have to take it easy a little bit.
Harley, what do we got for questions down there? Where does the name Geronimo come from?
I get asked that a lot at shows. People ask me, well, are you Native American and stuff like that? It's like, well, I mean, not that I know of, but when we bought the truck, the chassis was blue and red. And I don't know if you guys have had to do this, but if you try to come up with a name that's got to match colors, you want it to tie into a body style, and then also be original in something as cool as monster trucks. It was pretty hard. So like I said, we were already dealing with the colors blue and red, so we had to come up with a paint scheme and stuff that would kind of tie into that. So my dad actually came up with the name Geronimo, since the body's a 61 Chevy Apache. He's like, when we were kids, we used to yell Geronimo as we'd jump off the riverbanks. So that just kind of stuck, Geronimo is a fierce Apache warrior. And so we're like, well, that's kind of cool. It ties into the monster truck stuff and to the body. And that's how we came up with it.
Spence, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, so just this being like a lifelong dream, essentially, growing up as a kid, wanting to own and drive your own monster truck, kind of walk us through like the feelings and emotions you're kind of going through going to your first show in Colorado. Like what was going through your mind? Just like, was there a lot of butterflies? Were you anxious? Were you nervous? Like what was going through your mind?
Definitely a lot of butterflies. It was super exciting. Obviously I've grown up driving tractors and big construction equipment and semis and stuff, and just didn't really know what to expect. And just pretty much went out there and went for it. The Groth brothers basically told me, just as soon as the tires start rolling, hit second gear and just leave it there. And so, yeah, it was great. The first couple hits, I didn't quite hit them hard enough. And as you guys probably know, almost the better the harder you hit things, it gives your shocks time to drop out. Yeah. So it's a little smoother on the landings. And couple first jumps, I didn't really send it very hard, and it hurt pretty good. You could really feel it in the seat. I was like, man, I don't know, this is pretty rough.
I mean, there's been some things that I've learned with just even getting strapped in tighter that helps make the landings feel better. When I first started driving, Brandon, I was just like a freaking bobblehead up in the truck, and being able to tone that down a little bit has actually helped with me and the way that truck lands.
You just need to ratchet strap your helmet to the seat.
Essentially,
at this point, honestly.
Yeah. I'm strapped in so freaking
make a note of that
now.
for the shop tomorrow.
Ratchet strap for the helmet. Got it. Goes along next to the
yeah. So for the first show, of course, I bought a fire suit and a helmet and gloves, shoes, all that stuff. But I was like, I didn't really know, and so I didn't buy a neck brace or anything. And so I show up, and we're kind of getting ready before the show. We're talking with Taylor Delaney there. He was running the show, and they go, "Oh, you got your neck brace." I said, "Nah, I don't need a neck brace. I'll be fine." They said, "No." They said, "No, you have to have a neck brace." They said, "You're not Dennis Anderson." So they had a neck brace and helped me get it hooked up to my helmet and stuff. And so yeah, that was a learning curve there. I'm glad I did, because even with a neck brace, and being pretty much as tight as you can be, at the end of the night, you still have a sore neck for the most part. At least I do. But no, it's just been a learning experience the whole way. It's been absolutely amazing. I have so many people to be grateful for, and all the awesome fans and new friends that I've made in this. The truck, really has taken off, way faster than we figured it would. So
I mean, with that, I mean, do you have any big plans for the future? Whether that be, whether that's opening up a website or some type of merch store, or maybe even expanding the team.
Yeah, so I actually hired one of my best friends from high school as my new crew chief guy. He moved down here. He put his house up for sale and everything. Quit his job, and moved in with me. And we're planning on, as soon as his house sells, to build another truck for him, and build the team up a little bit. Just make it easier, so we're both going to a show. We can both help each other out and all that stuff, and just have two trucks, and then he can start enjoying the ride. So,
Harley, we got another question from Warhead Monster Truck. Does Brandon like tabletops?
What are we like?
that's Mike Mentor there. Yeah, he likes to build some rowdy stuff. And this coming year, he's going to get a taste of his own medicine, I hope. Because he's got a new truck and stuff. So I'm excited to see how he does. I might have to jump in some of the equipment and build some rowdy stuff and see what he thinks.
That's awesome. Yeah, we need to get Mike Bunter on here, because coming from the mini monster, well, we had Colton Kaiser on here, just seeing like the young talent really develop with the mini monsters and really coming into their own and finally getting to a seat with the big trucks, the full scales. I felt like such an idiot on Obsession Racing's Instagram page, because I saw a black and orange truck that they were like debuting and showing off. I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's not blue and yellow. It's not the original Obsessed colors. Like, oh no, it's not our truck. I'm like, well, I feel stupid.
Brandon, do you have upcoming tours for first quarter or shows planned after the first of the year?
I do. So yeah, I think we've got a show coming up here in Reno, Nevada. I think that's going to be like the third weekend in January. And then I think we're going to be up in Montana. I think Billings, Montana, sometime in the middle or the end of February. And then I think first part of March, we're supposed to be in Rapid City, South Dakota. And then I've got a couple shows. Booked with Live a Little Productions. Big shout out to those guys. They've been absolutely amazing to work for. They've really taken me in and given me a lot of shows. And we just get along so well. They're just great, down to earth people. But anyways, got a couple shows with them. I think in May, out in Utah. So the shows are slowly starting to come in. We're starting to get booked up. So I'm hoping that it's going to be about twice as busy as it was for the first year. I think we did like 15 shows, 15 weekends. Of course, obviously a lot more shows in each weekend. But like I said, just super grateful and blessed for all the shows and the work that we've had just starting out, from June of 2022. So I think this next year, we'll probably be even busier. So,
Harley, we got another question. Who is the promoter, Brandon, for the Billings, Montana show? Do you know off the top of your head?
That I don't know. I'd have to get a hold of the Groth brothers. I think that's.
I guess because we have a Billings, Montana show somewhere in there, so we were just curious.
So we might end up running into him first.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Now,
absolutely.
With the direction that with what you're planning to do with your business, I mean, are you open and willing to come out more towards the Heartland, more going towards the East Coast if the timing's right and the show's right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, like Obsession was asking there with my new Kenworth, I did buy a new like condo sleeper truck. And so, I'm willing to really go anywhere. I'm as long as I can drive there and I don't got to put my semi on a ferry, I'm good to head there. So, I just haven't really been approached with, too many shows back east or anything like that. So, I'd love to get back east and do some stuff down there and even south, into Alabama, Mississippi, and just dip into some new areas and, just show the truck off to new fans.
Well, if you can help it, don't go to South Alabama in the summertime. Harley, you said we have one more question? Would you ever compete in Monster Jam, Brandon?
You know, I've been asked that by quite a few people. You know, I don't see why not, given the opportunity. I think it's probably one of those things that is a little harder to get into, especially as being a super independent guy like myself. You know, and I don't know if corporate would really like my name. You know, I know there's been a lot of you know, race and nationality type things going on with corporations. So I don't know if Geronimo would be, you know, too forward for them or not. But
you're gonna have to run a megalodon
you know, yeah,
body, okay?
Right, yeah. So given the opportunity, though, absolutely, you know, it'd be fun.
Really, you're gonna put him in the fish immediately?
He's got blue. Yeah, Megalodon always goes to Independence.
No. Jamie Gardner will be running El Toro Loco.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, okay, we don't need to talk about spicy tuna, but yeah.
Well, Brandon, hey, we thank you so much for coming on, my man. It's been an absolute pleasure, and obviously getting to know you. You're a good guy, and we're definitely looking forward to what you bring to this industry.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. No, like I said, just super blessed to be here and all the great fans and friends and stuff that I've made in this. It's just a great industry, so I'm super blessed. Dream come true. So just looking forward to, you know, putting on a good show this next year here for the fans, and just keep building more fans and putting on good shows.
And so people can follow you. What is your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is Wyoming Outlaw 777.
All right. Well, friends, this is Brandon Swick with the Geronimo Monster Truck. As Spence is chugging a big old glass of eggnog over there. Brandon, you can go ahead and sign off whenever you're ready. But thanks for coming on, my man, and we'll be staying in touch, all right?
Sounds good, Austin. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks a lot, guys.
Peace.
Hey, bud.
See ya.
Now, Coop, are you still alive back there?
I was going to say, Coop and Matt are being really quiet. Like, we're kind of carrying the show. Cooper.
I mean, what? Y'all are talking. I'm just chilling, watching the show, shopping on my other computer here, and picking out stuff for Christmas.
Oh, what are you getting me? I wear a size 3XL now.
Nothing.
Oh, well, you're a bitch. Anyway.
Well, I think we should get to that point in the show because I know we got a lot of questions that were brought in today. We're going to do a little 1v1 with Coop and Matt over here. We're going to grill these fellas, get them to talk a little bit, get them to chat.
Small cowboy.
I am. Good Lord. We're off to a great start already. So, do you want to pull up the questions that were brought up on Instagram?
See if I can pull them up.
There were some interest. I had to throw in a couple myself just to really test old Cooper out because I don't think he knows. I still don't think he fully understands who Bob or
someone missed me.
Who did?
Look at that. Zach.
Is it Mike Rowley? I know Mike Rowley said he was more excited to see you on the show tonight than anything.
Talking to the mic.
A story from me.
A lot closer. Sorry.
I don't have.
Okay, so first question for the both of you. Okay, and this is a tough one.
We'll go Cooper first.
Well, it just you'll understand.
Okay.
These are quick, easy questions. Chicken or beef?
What?
Okay.
Chicken or beef?
What? Is my mic better?
Yes, it's a lot better now.
Chicken or beef, Coop?
Just chicken.
Beef.
Someone
left Twix or right Twix?
Right?
Left.
All right, serious questions. We're going to go to Coop first.
All right.
We'll go with
my
Coop.
mic's better.
If he does not answer, does not know, or answers are wrong, we'll go over to Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First question, Coop. Who is Jim Kramer?
Driver of Bakugan.
Oh, my God.
This is the first question.
I'm guessing he's an independent.
Matt.
And he's old.
Matt. Who is Jim Kramer?
I know the name, and I'm just brain farting over here hardcore of exactly who he drove.
Bakugan.
Man, I'm in. Yeah, do you know what? Throw a guess out there. What truck did you?
Hey, they said they can't hear me.
Well,
someone said
they might be messing with you, Matt.
Okay, maybe they are.
The world wants to know what truck did Jim Kramer drive? We're not going to give you any
I know,
hints.
I know. No, I'm legitimately, because I kind of know it, but I also don't. I'm just going to say Excalibur.
It would be Bigfoot.
Yes.
Bigfoot?
Yes, it would be Bigfoot. All right.
Yo, small cowboy.
Name, Cooper, a snake-themed monster truck.
Snake bite.
Holy crap, he actually
Whoa!
got...
All right.
All right.
Welcome, Moby.
Yeah, Moby is now part of the show. He does not...
What are you
You
doing?
get to look at his butt.
What are you doing? What?
Moby, lay down.
What is this?
He's
There we go.
he's confused.
Good boy.
Good
Moby
boy.
might be the best dog in the world.
Honestly.
He is, in fact, the best dog in the world.
Cooper, who is Paul Schaefer? And what is his relationship with Fred Schaefer?
Is he a driver? No, doesn't he own something? He owns something with monster trucks, I bet. It's Jesus Esparza's dad.
Jesus person.
Time is up. Matt, who is Paul Schaefer?
Paul Schaefer owns Mud Patrol and Monster Patrol.
What is his relationship to Fred Schaefer?
Fred Schaefer used to wash his dogs. I mean, considering this is a question, I would assume the answer is no, because
You'd
if
be
that was
correct.
the case, it would be way too easy.
You'd be correct.
You'd
Yeah.
be correct. And I'm not sure they may or may not spell their last names differently.
I think what...
It's the
is it
same?
the exact
Oh, okay.
same?
I thought it was different.
Yep, not related whatsoever.
Cooper, if given the
Yo.
chance, would you drive a monster truck?
More than likely.
You want to drive a ride truck?
Here's a hot tip. Ask for permission first.
No, yeah, I probably would. Depending on where at. If it's like arena, good. A horse stable, no. Stadium, definitely.
Matt, since people don't know you a whole lot, I mean, if given the opportunity, would you drive?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would relish the chance to drive a monster truck with permission.
Cooper, name someone that
What?
has driven under the name. What? Name someone that's driven under both Gravedigger name and Bigfoot name.
I'll be honest, I don't even know this one.
I don't either. How about this? Let's simplify it a little bit. Name a Bigfoot driver.
Your dad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Doesn't help that his helmet's literally right there.
I can't see it because it was on me.
Oh, that's fair.
Matt, name a Bigfoot driver.
That Kramer guy from the first question.
Yo, the mini cowboy.
You can't say Jim Kramer.
No,
you can't
that
say
was-
my dad. Name a Bigfoot driver.
Don't look at me.
I'm not looking at you. I'm thinking.
Oh.
This just happens to the direction I'm thinking in.
Shut up. No hints.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a Rebecca Schnell.
Oh my gosh. This is not going the way we wanted it to whatsoever.
Are there more questions down in the comment section? Because the rest of this is kind of
I got one.
opinionated stuff.
Do you guys like eggnog?
No.
What the? I almost
garbage.
let it slip.
It's
Eggnog,
garbage.
Matt?
When it has Evan Williams in it, yes.
That's a fair answer.
I don't
We
know
can
what that
kick Cooper
means.
off the show now.
Do it.
No, we need him. We need the comic relief.
Ask-
Apparently, a lot of older fans enjoy Cooper more than us.
Cooper,
Yeah,
who originally drove Carolina Crusher?
Oh shoot. Wasn't he just inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame?
What, was he?
I think so.
Were you there for it?
Yeah.
What's his name?
What's the name?
Dennis Anderson.
Matt,
So
who
close.
originally drove Carolina Crusher?
So I know what everyone on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire feels like, because he is my favorite driver as a kid. I know exactly who he is. I lost a monster truck tire down the hill of his shop, and I am drawing the biggest blank because now the spotlight is on me. I never knew I would ever be dumber than Coop.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, yo.
Y'all literally, Matt knows. He's literally drawing a big brain fart right now. I know he knows.
Give it to him?
No, I know it's Gary Porter.
Hey, all right.
But yes, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing is real. Like once the question's dropped on you, sometimes it just goes away.
Oh, I love this. This is amazing.
Now, are there more questions in the comment section or no? Okay.
All right, I got one for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did Barefoot get its name?
The driver was barefoot.
You don't know about this one?
I don't know about this one.
You don't know about this one either?
I do know that Fred had
I
a
just
bunch of
told
bears.
That would be the name.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that's literally how they came up with the name.
Oh, that's
Barefoot.
dumb.
Takes all the fun
I mean,
out of
he
it.
like
has
trained
bears?
bears or something like that,
That's
didn't
what
he?
I thought. I thought he had like, to my understanding, I thought he
Russian?
had like two like guard dogs and they're bears for some stupid reason.
I remember
don't know.
watching an old Monster Wars episode, and he had his
my
bears out, and he was playing with them.
Sorry,
which
just
was
coughed in the
actually
mic.
Pretty sweet.
That would be kind of cool.
Next
so,
question.
Do we got another question to ask?
I don't have another question.
I do have a question for Matt though, which is actually in regards to Cooper. Something about banana rings.
Oh, the banana ring story.
What's that? What's that all about?
Okay, so it is absolutely appropriate. My favorite fake story. This is a fake story, so Coop, don't
believe
get
it.
all kinds of bent out of shape just yet. Story to tell
He's an intern.
about Cooper is that when we were in South America, and at one point in time during catering, you found a banana, and that banana had a heck of a U in it. It was almost an actual complete U. And you were like, "What's up with this?" And I said, "Oh, that's a banana ring. They're special in South America, and if you take it and you throw it, it'll come back to you." And you believed me, went out into the arena floor and threw the banana ring, and it didn't come back. And I told you
Where
that it was
where was this at?
other way around. And then you threw a second one.
No, I
And
did
that's how
not.
dumb Coop is.
Where-
Now, that is
where
not a
was
real
this at?
story. This was
Where
in
was
Chile.
This? Okay, yeah.
Okay, we were in Chile.
Okay,
And
Chili.
the banana ring thing was real, but you never believed me, and you never threw a banana. But that's my favorite story to tell.
I think I remember the banana.
Definitely,
Honestly.
the almost U-shaped banana, and I was kind of convinced you that it would, if you threw it, it would come back, and you just
I remember you
Wouldn't
telling
believe
me
me.
that, and I'm looking at it like, there's no way. But a little bit of me was like, I
He's thinking
want to
about, like,
try it.
It might.
No,
No, I know. I was like, there's no way.
We're talking about stories, and there's a story that I want you to tell. Make it as appropriate as you can, but it's about the time that you got lost in South America on display.
I wouldn't even call it lost. I was friendly kidnapped.
Okay.
So at Santiago, Chile, I was with Monster Energy, and Monster Energy did every single display internationally. So I did tons of international displays. So we don't have any kind of real service. I don't have a real cell phone. The best thing I can get is like on Wi-Fi. I can get some messaging and stuff. And Chris Fryman comes up to me with a map, an aerial view of like a shopping center. And it has an X and an arrow and some lines drawn. He's like, you're going to come in here, you're going to park here, you're going to drive the truck here. That's where you're going to set up, and here we go. I was like, okay, cool. They say, okay, the truck was on a flatbed tractor trailer.
It was wide loaded. It was already tired up.
Yep, tired up, wide loaded. And we were put in a taxi, and it was Andrew Ford and I.
Oh, Lord.
The taxi cab driver spoke no English. When you asked him, do you speak English? He's like, yes. I said, okay, cool. So do you know where we're going? Yes. Okay, where are we going? Awesome. We're going to Awesome? Good time. Okay, this guy doesn't speak English. So we start driving. And I mean it. An hour and 20 minutes goes by, and I look at Andrew, and I go, I don't think we're okay. And at one point in time, we actually stop, and we're basically told by like a promoter who did speak English, hey, we're going to go this way, you're going to go that way, because the truck can't go underneath these power lines. And I was like, this is it. We're being separated from the truck, and my last images are going to be of Andrew Ford's terrible-looking face.
Oh, that would be awful.
It would have been the worst. So we eventually end up getting to this shopping center, and my very first thought was, this looks nothing like the picture I was given.
Oh, boy.
So they tell us where to go and where to set up, and we did it. We just drove it into basically the front end of a 7-Eleven, set up, and had a pretty good time. Then they took me out to lunch, and they asked me what I wanted to eat. I told them I don't like onions or avocado, so they got me an onion and avocado burger.
Awesome.
And I'm like, that's a translation error. Sorry. I ate it with a smile on my face. And then we came back, and then this random dude comes up with a cell phone, holding a cell phone to me, and goes, Chris. And I go, I'm not Chris. He goes, Chris. And I'm like, I'm not Chris. And he says it again, Chris. And I'm like, okay. I finally got the idea. He wants me to take the phone. Take the phone, hold it up to my ear. Hello? It's Chris Ryman asking me, am I okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. He goes, do you know where you are? And I'm like, America. South America. And he's like, I'm guessing you don't know your actual location. I said, dude, I don't have any idea where we're at. He goes, okay, don't panic, but you're not where you're supposed to be. And we don't know who's got you.
Oh.
Okay. He goes, I'm going to do everything I can, but you're not in trouble. You're not in danger, but there's going to be an Uber showing up. He didn't actually say Uber, but that's the best thing that I can describe, was an Uber's going to show up. And he's going to know your name and just get in, and he's going to take you away. And in that process, go to the truck, disable it as much as you can to make sure that it can't run or drive, and take the steering wheel with you and just go. And don't make a big deal. And I did just that. And then taxi driver shows up, says my name. I hop in the front seat because I don't want to get in the back seat. That seems weird. And we have this like special little moment. A pretty woman walks by, and we both look at her as she goes by, and we're like, man, that's a good looking woman. And me and this man, who didn't speak the same language, made eye contact and went, pretty women are pretty much universal. So yeah, we were, long story short, it was already a long story. Basically, the promoter said, hey, we don't want to go to, Kmart. We want to go into the mountains of Chile and go in front of basically their version of a 7-Eleven because they're going to pay more.
Okay.
And didn't tell anybody.
Huh.
We went back at 10:30 that night. I put the truck back together, and we loaded it on a lowboy and got it back to the arena. Had to tire it down to get it in, tire it up, and then got it ready for the next day because everyone else had all day to basically put their trucks back together. And I just spent the whole time being treated very nicely while being low-key kidnapped.
Tweety, have you ever been kidnapped before?
If I do, I don't remember it.
So I do know because Rodney told me that he kept trying to give you away.
That
and
I
then
believe.
They would always bring you back, and he was just always disappointed.
Anyways, other
more
monster
questions?
truck discussion. Craig Christensen retired here
That's true, yeah.
last weekend or last
Who dat?
week. Craig Christensen. I thought you might know who that is, Coop. He drove for Max D actually for a little bit, and I didn't know if you were with the company at that time or not. So I guess you don't know who that is.
I believe it's over 30 years of driving or something along those lines.
Something along
For those that don't know,
Name
Dragon
sounds
Slayer.
familiar.
Yes.
That has been the iconic name that he has ran the entire time.
What, Harley?
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
have to.
Okay.
All right. Spence, take your shirt off.
See the abs.
They're not there yet.
All right,
Don't
double down.
worry.
Take your pants off.
Good Lord.
Hey, yo.
It's for the views.
I mean, there is.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm like, hold on. How many we got watching right now? We only got 12 likes. We ain't at the like count.
How many likes before Spence takes off his shoes? We'll start there. We'll remove one item of clothing for every 10 likes
There's
after
a
that.
strip poker, like.
What you do for the likes, Coop? There's a lot of people watching right now, and there's not enough likes
It
on that
just
screen.
dropped. It went from 50 to
a lot of
46.
pizza.
There's people leaving because they don't want to see that.
Coop, we need people to like the video.
Like the video! Oh, God. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It's just going to have to go. I didn't mean it.
Like the video.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Also, my mother is watching this, so I don't think.
What up, Mama?
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Hey,
I'm making
yo.
poor choices again.
In other news, Reckless Driving has a new chassis. It's a familiar piece.
That's true. Yeah, Reckless Driving does have a new chassis. It is from the other Christensen. Yep. Some Throttle Monster. So it'll be interesting to see a non-leaf spring chassis for Reckless Driving. I think that would be awesome. And Jeremy Osmond is just such an awesome driver.
If I'm not mistaken, is it his birthday? Or
It is actually his birthday today. And
Happy birthday!
happy birthday, bud. I don't know if you're watching tonight, but happy birthday.
We love you.
He's like, what, 35 now? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's his 35th birthday.
Yeah. He looks a lot younger than you.
Thanks for that, by the way.
No problem. Dude, that Just for Men's doing so great wonders for you right now.
You're a jackass.
I
You know that.
You love me. Yeah, it's crazy.
Moby the dog is making his appearance for the first time on the Throttle Out show.
Either
tonight.
Moby is the best part of this show so far or the worst part of the show so far because he just found himself in the camera.
He's trying to run the controls from Harley. He's like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Put your heart into it. Oh.
The fire
Any
is
more
dying out
questions?
over here.
Yeah.
We're losing flame over here. There is, however, beautiful footage on Joe Sylvester's YouTube channel from the Canfield, Ohio show, which was on September 24th, my 30th birthday.
Yep.
From this past year. You actually got the footage up. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is on Joe Sylvester's YouTube channel. And this is all done with Back Channel Productions. And CJ, who does a great job. He does all the drone footage that you see. But this was such a fun show, guys. You want to talk about professional, top-notch. I mean, this was so much fun to be a part of.